Network, who's helping us out, as always, in the control room. We appreciate it. And Ed, well, we got Super Bowl out of our hair until, I guess, next year. For the Buccaneers, it's another, well, wait until...
What? I thought Super Bowl's next week.
It is this weekend.
Yeah.
I thought we just had it.
No.
38-35.
No.
I must have been smoking pot or something.
Whatever it was, give me some.
Maybe he had a dream forecasting what was going to happen.
Maybe. I'd go,
Who won?
Go
Who
to
wins,
Vegas.
Doug?
It came out 38-35. I better get some money.
Go to Vegas.
Out there. Okay, well, forget that. Scratch
Even
that.
I knew that.
Scratch that. I was wondering why I didn't get any
Well,
YouTube
I thought
repeat.
I thought you were talking about the championship game last week.
Yeah,
Hmm.
what can I tell you?
Holy cow.
Well, anyway, we're...
Can I place bets?
Yeah, right.
Who wins?
Huh?
Who won? You know the score.
You said
Who won?
the Eagles won when you
The
told
Eagles.
me.
Yeah.
The Eagles.
The
Okay,
Eagles
so
won.
that was a premonition dream
wait.
right there.
I take it back. I'm completely messed up.
Okay.
The Chiefs won by 3 points.
Make sure
38-35.
Should I
Make
take
sure
them
you
off
gotta-
the air or what?
She said, make sure you're straight before you put the money down.
Yeah, right.
It's the
Can I be
Chiefs
shot,
won.
please?
Okay.
Well, let's talk about something different.
That's right.
Obviously, I
Moving
blew the
on.
football subject.
Oh.
It's obviously much nicer weather than we've been used to.
Yes.
Beautiful days out there instead of the chill, which is always great. But we have two guests on the show today who are putting together a really fantastic project that's really helping the youth of our state.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to get into that much more detailed, and you'll want to stick with us and hear about it because it's really some exciting things that they're doing and going on to. But first, we're going to take a little break, get a few mentions in on our fantastic sponsors, and then we'll be back right after these messages.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
In 1955, the law firm now known as Pernick, Caulfield, Averill, and Noyes made a decision. Instead of taking whatever cases came through their doors, they decided to focus specifically on personal injury. 64 years later, the law firm is one of Clearwater's longest-running personal injury firms. Available 24 hours a day with offices in Clearwater and throughout Tampa Bay, they're ready to put decades of experience to work for you if you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident or injured due to someone's negligence or recklessness. If you feel overwhelmed, uncertain, or unsure about your next steps after being involved in an accident or after a loved one sustained serious injuries due to someone else's negligence, call Pernick, Caulfield, Averill, and Noyes at 727-796-8282 or online at usalaw.com. That's 727-796-8282 or online at usalaw.com. Non-attorney spokesman.
Shop the largest selection of Guy Harvey apparel, artwork, and gift items at GuyHarvey.com. From the world-renowned marine wildlife artist, the Guy Harvey online shop features the latest in performance apparel, classic Guy Harvey t-shirts, decor for every room in your home, exquisite ocean-inspired jewelry, and unique gift items, including custom merchandise not available anyplace else. Browse an extensive catalog of original Guy Harvey works of art and a full range of beautiful reproductions. As with all Guy Harvey merchandise, a percentage of sales benefits the ocean conservation, research, and education work of the Guy Harvey Ocean Foundation. The Guy Harvey Ocean Foundation will help ensure that future generations can enjoy and benefit from a well-balanced ocean ecosystem. Bring the undersea world into your everyday life at GuyHarvey.com.
Just about everyone is fascinated by the mafia. Books and movies like The Godfather, Goodfellas, Casino, and many others became bestsellers and box office hits. Did you know that a century ago, mobsters like Al Capone discovered Florida's tropical climate and sparse law enforcement? Mafia bosses from around the nation began setting up illegal operations in Florida. Now, for the first time, a new book titled Sunshine State Mafia, A History of Florida's Mobsters, Hitmen, and Wise Guys provides vivid stories and never-before-seen images of dangerous criminals who settled in Florida full or part-time. Written by renowned author Doug Kelly, Sunshine State Mafia exposes the hidden history of the mob throughout the state and includes Doug's own brushes with crime figures. Sunshine State Mafia is available at all major book retailers, or obtain a signed copy by calling 727-724-4949 or email sunshinestatemafia@gmail.com. Discover Clearwater like never before with iloveclearwater.com. Whether you're a resident or a visitor, our website is your go-to source for all things Clearwater. Find the best hotels, restaurants, parks, shopping, and events all in one place. Dive into our engaging photos and videos. Explore over 500 informative articles. Visit iloveclearwater.com today and experience the best of Clearwater. iloveclearwater.com, your ultimate guide to Clearwater for fun, sun, and smiles.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Thanks for listening to the Kelly Kelly Show. I'm Kelly Kelly. I'm here with my co-host, Doug Kelly.
Hey.
And just happens to be my hubby. And we have some wonderful guests today. Teresa Didrikson and Raina Colazzo from the Florida Sheriff's Youth Ranches in Safety Harbor. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for inviting us.
Tell us about the mission and purpose of the Florida Youth Ranches and how it serves the community.
So the mission of the ranches as an organization is to prevent delinquency and to develop lawful, resilient, and productive citizens. Specifically for Safety Harbor, we're really a safe haven for trauma-impacted children, and so that's really our mission, is to be able also to give these young people who have adverse backgrounds, a family, and teach them to form secure relationships, as well as their practical life skills.
That's awesome. How did you personally get involved?
Oh, goodness. So that goes back to 2014. And I ended up volunteering at the Florida Sheriff's Youth Ranch in Safety Harbor.
Right?
I know.
This won't take up much of your time.
I know. And so I was looking for purpose, trying to figure out, I was raising 4 kids of my own and homeschooling them. And I just needed that outlet a little bit for them. And so I ended up finding the Florida Sheriff's Youth Ranch in Safety Harbor, which was close to me, and started volunteering there, started really working with their Christmas drive, where, that was like a wonderful thing I know my kids love, and that's a special time of the year is Christmas. And I started to put together, and saying, hey, how can I help with the Christmas list, the wish list? How do we get it out to the public? How do we get it out to community so that these kids can get their wish list? And so what turned into just volunteering, slowly I was talked into possibly coming on as the part-time volunteer coordinator, because then I kind of helped them out with their open house, which we'll have one coming up shortly. And all of a sudden, instead of interviewing for that, they were like, actually, we have a full-time if you would like to do that. And I jumped on it. And so 2014, volunteering, then 2019 became an employee of the Florida Sheriff's Youth Ranches.
Yeah, right.
And you're now the program director.
And now the program director, yes. So definitely have taken a lot of leaps of faith for myself. But yeah.
And Raina is the training center and resource manager.
Yes.
So she's fairly new.
Yes.
Okay. And can you tell us, where is the Florida Sheriff's Youth Ranch in Safety Harbor?
Yeah, so we are, of course, in the heart of Safety Harbor, but it is off of McMullen Booth and Enterprise. If you're familiar with the area where Bonefish is, it's really behind there. There's Einstein Bagels and all that stuff, but we're really behind there, sitting on 23 acres.
That's
so
big.
Yes.
What does it look like? Tell us what's there.
I call it as well as both Raina and I have the same perspective, but it's my neighborhood. So I actually live on campus.
Oh, do you?
So cool. I tell people a lot of times that, if you just think of a neighborhood, that's what we are. So the kids come over and ask to play with my kids. And so we just really just take the opportunity just to be kind of like a normal family would just be in a neighborhood where you can play outside and do pickup football games. We have a pool there. We have a multi-purpose court where they can play basketball and stuff as well.
Wow,
So
sounds awesome.
yeah,
I want to move in.
it's just a neighborhood. I mean, it really is one of those things. We really have worked hard to create that family home environment. So what does it look like for the kids? So the kids that we bring in, it just feels normal to be in the neighborhood.
That's great. That's great. And I think the kids like that better too than some structured type of thing that's a little more tedious.
Yes.
And it's like you said, is more of a family type of atmosphere.
Yes.
That's important. That's really good.
Do the kids stay in a house?
Yeah. So our house, our campus is made up of 3 homes that can take in up to 10 children. Right now we can take up to 20. And so really we hire married couples to come in and take care of the kids. So
That's awesome.
So they have that home environment, right? That's the whole point of them to come there, is to have something that they see a mother and a father figure, but then also do things that are in the community as well, that they can, go to Little League games, and they can be a part of the parades and Safety Harbor. They can go to Third Friday. Our teenagers are all about going to Third Friday. So just being a part of the community itself. And that's the beautiful thing about where we're located right now.
Raina, tell us how you got involved.
So I have lived near the Florida Sheriff's Youth Ranch. I moved to Safety Harbor when I was, I believe, 8 years old. So I've lived in the same house right around the corner. And I recently graduated from Liberty University. Oh my goodness. And after graduating, I was looking for a full-time job, and I've always loved driving past the youth ranch. I decided to apply, and it's the best job that I've had.
Awesome.
That's fantastic. That's great. That's great. So you have a lot of support, I guess, in the neighborhood. We were talking before we went on the air that the sheriff's office and some of the other law enforcement agencies chip in to help out when they can. Tell us about that a little bit.
Yeah. So one of the things we have to do, I mean, it's a wonderful partnership that we have, because we are one of the sheriff's charities, right? So when they do events and stuff, that we're one of those things, and we were founded by the sheriff. So one of the misconceptions is that we're funded by them, but we're not. So, but we are one of their charities, and we were founded, so we won't lose that name on there. But they help out in a lot of different ways. One of the things is, especially, I know we're talking about later on about our events coming up, but we work with a lot, especially like we do Hillsborough. The cadets will come over and clean our campus. The part of their program of them initiating their deputies and stuff as well. And then they also provide, Pinellas County also then provides their asset, like their canines, their classic cars, the commander bus, just such those assets that people can come in and kind of almost like a touch a truck, a little thing, and just be able to see what do they do. So we work really great with them. I mean, they come on our property, and it just gives that presence, of safety for our kids. We've had to work really hard with our kids just to even get them to be comfortable with police, because for some of them they're scared or they're hurt because those are the ones that may have removed them, or somebody in that department. And so we've been really working just to make sure, especially in our camps, you had mentioned earlier about our camps, where law officers are our friends. And so we work with that relationship with them. Especially in the camp side, it's a wonderful free program in the summer, where every child in the state of Florida can go with their county for a week. I actually believe it's 8 days that they would be able to go to a camp where they have counselors, and they get to trust them. They connect with them, and then at the end of the camp, they realize, and the officers come out with their uniforms on and realize that their counselor was a part of the sheriff's. And so that's just one way we promote that way. And so we really just try to work with the support of all of our sheriff offices all around the state.
Are the camps like traditional camps where you have your swimming? And...
Oh, yeah. They
And
would
the
do
crafts.
crafts. So you've got the ropes, the high ropes, the archery. You got so many different things that are at the camps and stuff. So that's been a great, really fun.
Mm-hmm.
Inject positive activities
Yes.
Yes.
that can keep them occupied rather than hanging out at the corner.
Correct.
Yep.
What ages are the kids?
So the youth we serve at Safety Harbor are from 3 to 18 years of age.
Wow, that's
Yes.
a big range.
Yes. And so in our Boys Ranch campus that is in Live Oak, Florida, and they actually are more in your middle school, high school years that are there. And those are usually typically more placed.
And you try to keep the families together.
Yeah, so
That's unique.
that is definitely. So our Safety Harbor campus is special because it is meant for keeping siblings that are in out-of-home care right now with the Department of Children and Families. We keep them together. So, or if we have them, we ask, some of our agencies that are placing with us, do you have their siblings that we can bring them together and unite them?
Wow.
So we talked about a success story. We recently were able to do that. We had 3 kids that were placed. It was a sibling group of 5. And there were 3 that were placed in a different home and 2 in a shelter. And we were able to bring them under one roof so that they can thrive together, because we know in research that siblings thrive together when they stay together.
You said shelter. I didn't realize that kids were in shelters.
Yeah. So one of the main issues is that there's not enough homes for children who are removed because of abuse, neglect, or abandonment, and there's not enough homes. So the position we get to be is we get to take large groups of kids and siblings and put them underneath one roof, where most homes and foster homes that are around for out-of-home placement, they have maybe 1 or 2 children they can have. But what we see a lot of times in these out-of-home, placements is that there are multiple siblings and many siblings that many homes can't take 5 to 8.
Wow.
So we've even had a campus that had sibling groups of 5, and then their cousins were also there with us.
Wow.
So you could actually see that generational brokenness that was happening. So we hope to be a small piece of that, just to bring hope and healing to the kids that we serve.
Wow. Makes sense. You're listening to the Kelly Kelly Show. I'm Doug Kelly with Kelly Kelly, and we're here with Ed Davis. And by the way, if you're stuck in traffic, you can also pick up the show later on Facebook. It's live now, but you can also see it and us. And we're also on Tan Talk Radio's YouTube channel. So that's helpful if people have to keep their eye on the road or whatever.
That's true.
What types of programs and services do you offer to those who come to the ranch?
So one of the things we just talked about is we really just offer a home. Right, to the kids. We hire those married couples that come in that will take care of the kids. So the programs is really, it's providing a home. But then there are ways that we do activities and stuff that we do. We really model around our 4 pillars, which is work, study, play, and pray. And that's just really where we want to instill in our kids a work ethic, to work hard, to earn money, and how do we spend money, right? And then study is, we really want them to concentrate on their academics. We want them to value it, where before they haven't. Many of our kids will come in way below grade level. And like currently right now, I have an 11th grader who reads about a 3rd grade level. So we have a lot of catching up to do. So study is important. So we really want to build around that study and being able to provide that success in that area as well. And then play. Many of our kids are too busy surviving in their homes versus being able to go and play. And so we really want to concentrate on playing, being able just to have fun. Right. So, I mean, who doesn't want to have fun? I want to have fun. I love having fun. So we want to just give that. And we have that big open campus that we can do that and provide those activities, or being involved in the community as well. And then, of course, we want to just pray and just say, hey, we want to say you're okay. There is someone out there. There is God that loves you. And how do we do that? And let them rely upon that as well. So
that's good to have that faith
yes,
instilled into, and or at least introduce them to it.
Yes.
and doesn't hurt them a bit.
Nope.
To have a little bit of religion and
Yeah.
what have you. So that's great. Nice addition. Sound like you've got a very well-rounded program.
Yeah, we
when
do.
they come in.
We try, you think about those things. Those are kind of what you do in your own home in a way. And that's just, we really just treat them no different than we would our own kids.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Is Safety Harbor your location? Is it unique? Is it unique in some way compared to other Florida youth ranches?
Yes. Well, one, we're in the heart of the city. I mean, we're right here in our, which is beautiful. Two, it would be, we have a great relationship with our mayor, Joe Ayub, and he's
been on our show.
Oh, good. So he's been just wonderful. He attends our banquets. We put on banquets for our kids just to celebrate their successes. And every year he comes and he just mentions that that's just one of his favorite times to come. And he's also we talk about, a little bit of collaboration. We'll get to that a little bit later on, but he's also come to our campus to teach our older kids like interviewing techniques and different things that he can do. So
nice.
We really try to pull, from that as well. So, yeah.
So, do you have any need of volunteers?
Oh yes, we always have volunteers. Big need. You can also speak freely as well as you want to. But yeah, do you want to talk about any of the volunteering at all?
Yeah. So for volunteering, we have local church groups and other similar civic groups that come in to help clean up our campus occasionally. Big shout out to all the groups that came to help out with the hurricanes. We have trees on our campus to help make it beautiful, but unfortunately during a hurricane, those trees can get knocked over, as well as some repairs that needed to be made. So that was really great. And then a lot of people ask how they can get involved in terms of like mentorship type of things, like volunteering directly with the kids. And so, for example, we have one group that comes and just does art with the kids.
Oh, how
so
nice.
It's an opportunity for them to kind of have an emotional outlet to learn that skill, but also to engage with the community. So even just coming and volunteering, doing an activity that you love can be so helpful for the kids, their learning, their emotional growth, and just getting able to just act like a normal kid,
Do you need tutors at all?
Oh, yes. So, we talked about the studying, right? And that we really want to, set them up for successes. And that's the things that we're looking at with tutoring is like the homework hour. Like as soon as you get home, we want to get them something to eat and get them a little playtime, but then we want to get on homework. And with having 10 children in a home, it can be a little crazy.
Chaotic, I'm sure.
It's very chaotic. So, just having people who can just help them, sit alongside of them, help them, hey, you need this. A lot of our children can't read. So just even reading is hard for, to read the homework and stuff as well. But between that and then also, other ways to volunteer is we have Meal Train, and that's on our Youth Ranch Safety Harbor Facebook page. But
Meal Train?
A meal train.
Okay.
So, I imagine I take 4 kids and I have 4 kids and provide food for them, but 10 kids, we try to just resource that out and say, hey, what are ways the community can be involved? Well, heck, I'm going to go to, Sonny's and I'm going to buy a meal for the ranch, and so we do a lot of those where you just drop off a meal, and now the cottage parents there can relax. They can eat the meal with them and sit down and then have table time. Actually, that's one of the unique things about Safety Harbor as well, is that we really try to concentrate, which actually probably is not normal now, but we sit around the table and try to have that. So that 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock is our meal time.
That's important.
And it's so important. They just talk about, they share their highs and their lows and just talk about the day. But a lot of times the cottage parents is running around trying to get the food on the table, trying to do all that stuff. And so sometimes we will help them supplement that with getting, food brought in from others in the community that will want to bring in a meal for them as well.
Well, that's great. It seemed too that when they come in and they've been in a situation that's kind of austere and maybe even combative and argumentative, they're not getting motivation.
Mm.
You know, you're a good girl, you're a good boy, make the right choices, stay out of drugs, stay out of gangs. You know, this is that outlet.
Mm-hmm.
Are there gangs in Safety Harbor?
Oh, I imagine there's probably things
Probably.
everywhere. Yes.
I think a Safety Harbor is so safe.
I know, and we love it because it is safe, and that has to be with you know the Pinellas County Sheriff's offices that really help protect that as well. I don't know of any. I'm just tucked in my little neighborhood, so we're safe.
Right.
What about schools?
Yes.
Do the schools support you?
The schools support us a lot. So we have a lot of, we work closely with them because our children have individualized education plans, you know, and they have been so supportive. I had just recently, even the PTA member of Lila Davis Elementary in Safety Harbor reach out and say, hey, I want you to know about these events because we want your cottage parents and their kids to come. We want all of them to come, not just if they go to our school, we want them all to come. And the same thing with our banquet, our teachers and the principals come to that as well. So our kids go to local schools. Many people ask those questions like, hey, what school do they go to? But they're in the community. They go to the local schools that are around. And then we also have actually a few of our kids who go to private school. And so we transport them about 25 minutes away to Tarpon, where there's a community school where it's just more individualized attention for them, and they love it there as well. So, but yeah, they're pretty local.
Yeah, go ahead.
But yeah, they end up being just local in the community, and really we have great relationship with the teachers.
That's great,
and the principals.
What's there not to like? I mean, it's a fantastic.
Well, it takes a village, right? I mean, I feel like it takes a village to raise kids these days. There's so much going on. There's so much peer pressure. There's so much, you know, things out there that can get them in trouble. And that's why we exist, is so that we can give these kids a chance at a future, right? So we want to give them a sense of direction and ability and hope and a future. And that's really why we exist.
And even sometimes when a child is in a nurturing environment, a good family, they can still bend to peer pressure.
Yeah.
My daughter, when she was 15, all the cool people said, you know, you skip school. She started getting into that. Luckily, we headed it off. But it's easy to get off track.
Yeah.
And the youth ranches keep them on track. That's
Sure. They're all trying to find their identity.
Sure.
They're trying to figure out who they are in this world. And unfortunately, some of them don't have you know, the parents or the family at home to help guide them.
Right.
And so in the midst of that transition and maybe behavioral challenges, we can step in and be able to be a little bit of light, more structure in there. And because when we hire married couples, it's their full-time job. Wow. So they don't have outside sources that they have to do.
That's nice.
They can concentrate only on that, you know, and that's
great.
And that's rare these days. You know,
Yes,
most families they're all but working and they've got other things going on. There's just a lot, and you add in peer pressure and things can go south.
Fantastic. Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to take a little break here, and we'll be back right after a few messages from our fantastic sponsors. So stick with us on the Kelly Kelly Show.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
In 1955, the law firm now known as Pernick, Caulfield, Averill, and Noyes made a decision. Instead of taking whatever cases came through their doors, they decided to focus specifically on personal injury. 64 years later, the law firm is one of Clearwater's longest-running personal injury firms. Available 24 hours a day with offices in Clearwater and throughout Tampa Bay, they're ready to put decades of experience to work for you if you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident or injured due to someone's negligence or recklessness. If you feel overwhelmed, uncertain, or unsure about your next steps after being involved in an accident or after a loved one sustained serious injuries due to someone else's negligence, call Pernick, Caulfield, Averill, and Noyes at 727-796-8282 or online at usalaw.com. That's 727-796-8282 or online at usalaw.com. Non-attorney spokesman.
Shop the largest selection of Guy Harvey apparel, artwork, and gift items at guyharvey.com. From the world-renowned marine wildlife artist, The Guy Harvey online shop features the latest in performance apparel, classic Guy Harvey t-shirts, decor for every room in your home, exquisite ocean-inspired jewelry, and unique gift items, including custom merchandise not available anyplace else. Browse an extensive catalog of original Guy Harvey works of art and a full range of beautiful reproductions. As with all Guy Harvey merchandise, a percentage of sales benefits the ocean conservation, research, and education work of the Guy Harvey Ocean Foundation. The Guy Harvey Ocean Foundation will help ensure that future generations can enjoy and benefit from a well-balanced ocean ecosystem. Bring the undersea world into your everyday life at GuyHarvey.com.
Just about everyone is fascinated by the mafia. Books and movies like The Godfather, Goodfellas, Casino, and many others became bestsellers and box office hits. Did you know that a century ago, mobsters like Al Capone discovered Florida's tropical climate and sparse law enforcement? Mafia bosses from around the nation began setting up illegal operations in Florida. Now, for the first time, a new book titled Sunshine State Mafia, A History of Florida's Mobsters, Hitmen, and Wise Guys provides vivid stories and never-before-seen images of dangerous criminals who settled in Florida full or part-time. Written by renowned author Doug Kelly, Sunshine State Mafia exposes the hidden history of the mob throughout the state and includes Doug's own brushes with crime figures. Sunshine State Mafia is available at all major book retailers, or obtain a signed copy by calling 727-724-4949 or email sunshinestatemafia@gmail.com.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Thanks for listening to the Kelly Kelly Show. I'm Kelly Kelly with Doug Kelly, and we have with us today Teresa Didrikson and Rena Colazzo from the Florida Sheriff Youth Ranches in Safety Harbor. So what do you want to ask next?
Well, I'll tell you what, just briefly as an overview, what we're talking about. Again, just basically, what is the Youth Ranches all about? And then we'll get into some more detail. And you've got some exciting events coming up. So tell us again a little capsule for those who just tuned in about the Youth Ranches.
So the Florida Sheriff's Youth Ranches is an organization throughout the state of Florida, and the main goal is to prevent delinquency and help kids become resilient and responsible members of our state. And so the Youth Ranch in Safety Harbor focuses on out-of-home care and providing a safe haven for trauma-impacted sibling groups.
And these ranches are all over the state,
Yes.
correct?
Yes, we have 3 residentials
Okay,
and 3 camps.
very, very good.
Oh, I didn't know that. Only three residentials?
Yeah, 3 residential. So we have the Boyce Ranch, which is on 3,300 acres.
Wow.
Where is that
It's
now?
it's in Live Oak, Florida. It's
Okay.
a real working ranch.
Yep.
Actually, they have a open house that's coming up on February 22nd, and they'll have rodeos and all that good stuff as well up there. So that's just a whole event just to check out as well. But and then we have also our other residential campus, which is our scholarship program, which is once the youth will graduate high school. What is the next steps? Most people ask that, right? What is the next steps? Do you age out your kids, when they hit 18? And we do not. We go and we give them the next steps. And that would be in Bartow, Florida. And that's where they attend school or they do a trade. But they are there and they're in a home with other children. Well, I should say children, they're adults now, but they are with other adults just trying to figure out life. But we have a residential life coach that's in there with him and with them.
That's nice that they're just not, here's the door.
Yeah, no,
That's
we walk,
awesome.
We say once a rancher, always a rancher. You're always a family.
Excellent. So any organizations help you?
Oh, yeah, we do. You want to do any organizations?
So I am the training center manager. And so my job is to kind of get into the community and engage with some of these other organizations. And so one of the big things that we're involved in is the Safety Harbor Chamber of Commerce. And in the Chamber of Commerce, there's a nonprofit council, and a lot of the nonprofits there are groups that we work directly with. So there's multiple Rotary clubs involved.
That's true.
And there's a local organization that is, they make food for people in the community, and so they will come bring food. We have just a lot of different local groups. Churches are involved as well. And so really any kind of like civic group that you could think of. So like I said, Rotary clubs, academic groups, people who make food, churches, just different kinds of organizations that are made to build up the community. Because we focus on the youth, they just love to come in and help support the next generation.
Okay, and we'll get into how to help there at the end. We'll get your contact info.
Did you want to mention any of the organizations?
So the Safety Harbor Rotary Club and the Safety Harbor Rotary Club Noon. The Kiwanis Club comes by a lot. Let's see, Safety Harbor Dish. Anything else you can think of, Teresa? There's so many.
We have so many in a lot of neighborhoods as well, like just actual like Highland Lakes and like a lot of different just in Palm Harbor, all over the area. This is why I tell you that's why we're unique. We have a lot of volunteers that just come and really take care of us. And then, of course, we have like retirement communities. I mean, you name it, they're looking for things. A lot of retirement communities have chef clubs and different things. They're like, can we just make food? I'm like, yes, please. But yeah, I mean, we work with the civic groups that are also in East Lake, almost all of the Rotary clubs. We have been really working a lot with them in the Kiwanis, and so a lot of
Mills
civics.
Park Art Society comes by.
They do our art for our children on Thursdays and just give them that outlet that Raina talked about earlier.
That's awesome.
The Boys and Girls Club, right, is restarting their mentorship program?
The Big Brother, Big Sister is restarting their mentorship on our campus. And so typically they're in the schools. And so they have kind of shied away from those that are in out-of-home care because the kids can move around a lot, right?
Yeah.
And so we have tried to work with them and partner with them, just telling them that we're a little different, right? So I have some youth that have been with us for about 7 or 8 years now.
Wow.
And so this is their home.
That's awesome.
And so we want to provide them with those mentorships and those mentors that are in their lives that are for them, those positive role models that they can just learn from as well on those. So so partnerships with Big Brother, Big Sisters is starting as well.
All right, that's great. Well, you said married couples sort of had the household, of course, to provide structure and direction and love, hopefully, to some extent. Do they take them out of the ranch? Do they like go to dinner somewhere else or take them to a football game or is it all strictly stays there?
No, we really want to give them the experiences of what everyone else and what other kids and families are experiencing. This is when we talk about the community collaborations and how community helps us, is we tell people all the time the experiences, give our children the experiences. Let them go to Busch Gardens where they never had. Our kids just got back from Monster Jam last night.
Oh, nice.
And our little 4-year-olds, and we had a 4, 5, 6, 7, 11. They're sibling groups of 5, but this was their first time experiencing that, and they loved it. It was loud. It was crazy. It was just kind of, they could be loud as well. So those are just the little things. We work with a lot of dealerships. We talk about collaborations and partnerships and stuff, but a lot of dealerships will also help us out as well. We have one that's Coast, Buick, GMC, and Mazda, and they give our kids, it's called Ken's Kids, and they get the experiences of a lifetime. They go manatee swimming. They go to Rays games and they go to the Bucks games.
Wow.
Right. And so they get many experiences that a lot of children actually don't even get to experience, but we want
Doug
to be
wants
able
to be
that
adopted.
one. Oh, yes. Well, it is a wonderful experience, but it doesn't, it still doesn't heal their brokenness,
I know.
right? But it is something that we can say, hey, we can work through this. We can have all these connections in our community. We can have connections with our mentors. We can have connections in our homes with these cottage parents that hope that we can bring healing in some way while we have them.
It must be kind of a ticklish situation if you have somebody come to the ranch and you can tell that they've been abused, cigarette burns on their arm or things like that. Do you work with the Division of Child Services if something like that occurs, where they get some specific care? Or
Well, so when they come to us, we already kind of know what has happened to them. We may not know the full story,
I see.
but we will know some of these things of why they were removed from their home and why they need to be in out-of-home care, right? So, and because of that, we know that because of there's trauma, we then offer a model of care based, around trauma. So we train our staff in those areas. So we have what DCF, which is Department of Children and Families, they give us state requirements for training, but then we go above and beyond and we train them in TBRI, which is Trust-Based Relational Intervention. And that's just a model of care that is, it helps the cottage parents, it helps those in that are working with the youth to understand what trauma has done to the brain. So their behaviors are not necessarily something that they're, wanting to do. It was a survival, right? It was a survival behavior. So we are working with them as we kind of work through those. And so we kind of offer those different kind of ways that we can train our cottage parents to be able to do that.
Okay.
Super.
So you have an event coming up.
Yes.
What's this all
We
about?
do. Do you want to take that?
Yes, so our open house is on March 1st from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. And this is a chance to really come see what we're all about, what we're doing on the campus. So we give tours for everybody, and you can see exactly what we're talking about when we say this is our neighborhood for our kids. And we also get to show off some of our law enforcement partners. So they are going to come and they do a canine demonstration. They're bringing, I believe, a helicopter. They're bringing all these cool displays. The Safety Harbor Fire Department is also planning on bringing a truck. And we really want this to be a family-friendly, fun event. And so we're going to have some games and activities just for the community to take part in. We're going to have a free lunch. It's going to be so fun and exciting and just a really great opportunity to not only support our youth that we have, but also to invite our community in, because at the end of the day, being centered in Safety Harbor, we really want to just be a positive, positive place in our community and form those connections for our kids.
That's wonderful. And
Well,
I forgot my question.
what is if somebody wants to get involved in whatever capacity, as a volunteer, or donations, both money donations and also products and services, how do they do that?
So I would encourage you, of course, if you're here local, come see us. Come by and check us out. Come to the administration building, and we would love to give you guys a tour. That's also the place that you can drop off donations. You can say, hey, I would like to, be able to financially support you guys as the ranches or as Safety Harbor as well. But you can also mail things out. If you think about even the services that you have, like, we are always looking for ways that we can instill different skills in our kids. So if you're like, I am an expert in finances, then we want to offer classes for our kids to understand, how do they save? How do they give? How do they serve in their community? So those are all just different ways that you can do that. Also, I want to give a little bit of for donations. So let's just say you're cleaning out your house and stuff like that. Well, you can actually call our Florida Sheriff's Enterprise, which is our thrift stores, and they'll come and pick up your donations, and that portion of that will come back to us as well. And so that supports us every time. We try to tell people all the time, hey, just call the Sheriff's Enterprises and they will come and pick up your stuff that you want to donate. So
Toys?
Toys. Yep, they will do any of those kind of things as well. They have criteria, that they
Put it in
have.
working order.
Correct. They have whatever they do. But it's a great organization as well. They're part of us. And so, and then we also will encourage people that if you want to fundraise, I mean, we are 96% privately funded as an organization. And so we really rely upon our community and our supporters to keep us going. And so fundraisers are great for that. I just actually watched one that just did one for a local, and that's a pickleball tournament. So little small things you wouldn't even think raised $50,000, right?
Wow.
So those are kind of things that we look at saying, hey, if you have something that you would like to, fundraise for, we'll love to be your charity.
Wow, that's awesome.
To receive those as well.
Okay. So what about a website? Do you have a website that we can?
Yes, that's www.youthranches, youthranches.org.
Okay, youthranches.org. And what if somebody wanted to specifically donate money to Safety Harbor Youth Ranch? Could they do that?
Yes, they could. They could actually either come into our office, or even online. We have online giving for the whole ranches as well. And then if you need to, if you want to do it specifically for the Safety Harbor, you would put in that little notes section, Safety Harbor. You could do that as well.
We're going to take a little break here. And when you come back, we're going to hear a success story about somebody whose life's been turned around. And I'm sure there's many of those. So please be with us. Stick with us here on the Kelly Show. We'll be back right after this.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
In 1955, the law firm now known as Pernick, Caulfield, Averill, and Noyes made a decision. Instead of taking whatever cases came through their doors, they decided to focus specifically on personal injury. 64 years later, the law firm is one of Clearwater's longest-running personal injury firms. Available 24 hours a day with offices in Clearwater and throughout Tampa Bay, they're ready to put decades of experience to work for you if you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident or injured due to someone's negligence or recklessness. If you feel overwhelmed, uncertain, or unsure about your next steps after being involved in an accident or after a loved one sustained serious injuries due to someone else's negligence, call Pernick, Caulfield, Averill, and Noyes at 727-796-8282 or online at usalaw.com. That's 727-796-8282 or online at usalaw.com. Non-attorney spokesman.
Shop the largest selection of Guy Harvey apparel, artwork, and gift items at GuyHarvey.com. From the world-renowned marine wildlife artist, the Guy Harvey online shop features the latest in performance apparel, classic Guy Harvey t-shirts, decor for every room in your home, exquisite ocean-inspired jewelry, and unique gift items, including custom merchandise not available anyplace else. Browse an extensive catalog of original Guy Harvey works of art and a full range of beautiful reproductions. As with all Guy Harvey merchandise, a percentage of sales benefits the ocean conservation, research, and education work of the Guy Harvey Ocean Foundation. The Guy Harvey Ocean Foundation will help ensure that future generations can enjoy and benefit from a well-balanced ocean ecosystem. Bring the undersea world into your everyday life at GuyHarvey.com.
Discover Clearwater like never before with iloveclearwater.com. Whether you're a resident or a visitor, our website is your go-to source for all things Clearwater. Find the best hotels, restaurants, parks, shopping, and events, all in one place. Dive into our engaging photos and videos. Explore over 500 informative articles. Visit iloveclearwater.com today and experience the best of Clearwater. iloveclearwater.com, your ultimate guide to Clearwater for fun, sun, and smiles.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Hey, thank you for being with us on the Kelly Show. I'm Doug Kelly with my co-host and better half spouse, Kelly.
That's right.
Big Ed Davis with us, executive producer of the Tan Talk Radio Network. And we're here with two interesting guests, Teresa Didrikson and Raina Colazzo. And they're here with the Florida Youth Ranches. Specifically, their location, their home base is the Safety Harbor location. And If you've been listening to the show, you would know that they've been doing some fantastic things for troubled kids who might be going in the wrong direction. They get them redirected with so many interesting services. Tell us a success story that is kind of remarkable that you sort of lodged in your mind.
Okay, so there are a lot,
I'm
right?
sure
To
there's-
narrow it down, it's very hard. But one particular young man, he came when he was 14 years old in our care, and he had rarely attended school. And which means that we had a lot to catch up on for school. And when he came also, he had never really played with peers that were his age. And so it was just this kind of quirky little guy and a goofy little run that we just kind of invested in him and gave him that confidence of what he needed. And next thing you know, he's asking to play Little League baseball, where he won I want to say MVP for defense award, which was cool.
Yeah.
And then as he was growing up, he went to high school at Countryside High School. So he's our local graduate from there. And then he's like, hey, I think I want to play football. And so from someone coming into our care to seeing where he has come now, he graduated with a 3.0, which was impressive. He was about 4 grade levels behind when he came. And so he graduated there, and he's currently at our Youth Villa Scholarship program right now in Bartow, where he is now currently working on his AA, and he wants to be pursuing a business finance degree.
Wow.
So if you look at that, just to see that incredible story of being able to provide a stable environment so that he could have success is truly remarkable. It really kind of encapsulates what we do here is we take those that are heading down a wrong path or a path that was not really given, that they took. It was something that, a family member did for them, but be able to put them on that right path of confidence. And we talk about resilience, right? And so that having that resiliency and instilling that. But now he is thriving. He's loving it, loves school. He's up there and working at Publix and up in Bartow. And then he comes back here at Safety Harbor because his girlfriend's here. And so comes back and enjoys just being in our community and oftentimes stops by for us.
Gotcha. Well, that's a pretty incredible story. Yeah. It really, really is. And giving him confidence, and to be able to, he must have been frightened to death when he hasn't been socializing.
Yeah.
And then
are they frightened when they first come in?
Oh yeah, they are. There's some of them just see where they come in, they're not smiling, and then next thing you know, give them a couple of weeks or a month, they are literally actually, smiling and laughing. So that's kind of really neat to see. We actually get to see the beginning of it and then where they come, and then just some of them actually didn't want to smile because they either have a cracked tooth or something, but being able to work with some of the people, our community partners, Dr. DeVito with our orthodontics.
They
provide
fix the teeth
for all the time for free. And so I give a shout out to him because he is making our kids' teeth all pretty where they're smiling with confidence. So that's a lot of fun as well on that. So
Well, that's got to be one of the great benefits of this work.
Yes.
Is the exhilaration and excitement you must get when you see a story like that.
Yes, it is.
It's like watching a flower bloom,
Yeah.
In any case. Well, Kel, it's been great. It's been really interesting. Give us again your contact info.
So you can reach us at you can call the office at 727-725-4761 or check us out on the website at www.youthbranches.org.
All right. And this is Doug and Kelly saying, don't go looking for happiness. Take it with you. We'll see you next week and hear you next week on the Kelly Show.
Thanks for listening to the award-winning Kelly Show on the Tan Talk Radio Network.
WTAN, Clearwater,
FM 106.1.
WDCF.